How do you market your book and when do you start thinking about it? And how does social media fit into the big picture? Hi, this is Carma Spence, the Own Your Awesome Mentor. And a few videos back, I promised you that I would have a guest here on Weekday Wisdom. Well, today's the day. Today, I start a series of excerpts with an interview I did with author Carew Papritz. He is the Cowboy Philosopher, and he's got these crazy, wonderful ideas for marketing his book. Today's excerpt, we're going to talk a little bit about the beginning of the journey, what he's done, and when he thought about it, and that kind of thing. And then we'll go on from there for however long it takes to get all the juicy goodness I got in this interview, which lasted about 40 minutes. So there'll be a few episodes, and it was really good stuff. I am so happy to bring you Carew today and for the next several days. Carew Papritz, also known as the Cowboy Philosopher, is the author of the multi-award winning book, The Legacy Letters. Though fictional, The Legacy Letters has won acclaim as a life lessons book for all generations, gaining the distinction of being the only book in the publishing history to win awards in both fiction and nonfiction categories. As part of his many innovative and adventurous first ever book signings, Carew truly lives his book's central message to live life to the fullest while signing books on top of volcanoes and horses. So, Carew, what is the most creative thing you've done to market yourself?
Well, Karma, it is a great pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I have about top 5, and I'm going to let you decide which one is the most creative. So I've done a series of first ever book signings, and the first one I did was a book signing on top of a volcano, which was Mount St. Helens, number one.
Before or after the big...
Oh, it's very funny. Actually, that was a good question. Actually, after. So
Okay.
I actually delivered a book by drone over a 40-mile span before Amazon did. So I beat out Amazon. That was a big fun deal. First American to do a book signing post-Castro, after Castro's death. Did the first ever modern day whistle-stop book tour along the East Coast. And it was 3 weeks on Amtrak signing books and going off and signing books off and on and off the train. So that was a ride. I did the first ever what's called a book balloon launch, where I launched over 1,000 miniaturized versions of my book by book balloons, sending them into the air so that kids could find them and they could figure out how far their book balloons went. So it was a literacy promotion.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, those are just some of the creative ones.
So do these creative marketing things that you're doing, do they relate to the content in your book, or are you just doing something for fun?
No, and that's a great question because, I've done hundreds of book signings all over the U.S. and abroad, and book signings, to be able to do book signings is a great honor. But at the same time, after a while, you're like, oh gosh, I wish I could do something else, and I love to be outdoors. And I thought, well, wait a second, why don't I try to combine something in the outdoors with the central message of the book, which is to live life to the fullest, the central message of the legacy letters. And I hit the sweet spot. It was a way of being able to say, wow, I'm going to walk my talk. And then people say, well, why are you doing this? And I say, well, read the book. And I go, okay, I'll read the book while you're doing a book signing on top of all these other things. So it's much more inspirational. It's much more active. And I really enjoy it. It's been a blast.
So the one you did on top of the volcano, did people know to go see you on top of the volcano? Or were you just like, surprise, I'm here?
Yeah, people ask that too. So I try to go through my email list and all my social media, and then I contact all the local media people in the area. And actually, it was really good. This was part of I'm originally from the Northwest, so it was called the Washington's first ever book tour, in which I did book signings on top of Mount St. Helens, the first ever on top of the Space Needle, and on river rafting on the Skagit River.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was all part of a greater cause. And so the media really pushed that out and said, hey, you want to go meet him on top of Mount St. Helens? Go for it. And so I got great coverage, TV, radio, and newspaper.
Okay, cool. How do you come up with these ideas?
Well, I didn't come up with this, but someone a while back said, well, we're going to make you the Cowboy Philosopher. And I was like, oh, great. I own the Cowboy Philosopher. And someone said, well, how do you become a Cowboy Philosopher? And I said, well, you work on a ranch, which I did, and that's where I wrote the book. And you ride horses, and you think and think and think and ride and ride and ride. So I think the occupational hazard of writing a book like this is you have lots of time lots of creative time and to think about these type of things. But I tell you what, when I was writing the book, I sure as heck wasn't thinking about this stuff.
Yeah. How soon did you start thinking about marketing your book before, where in the process did you start thinking about the marketing aspect of your book?
Well, I should preface this is that I published in an era pre-social media. So I had a couple best-selling books in my early 20s and an agent and all this sort of stuff. And then I went away from it because as the typical writer, oh, I'm going to go live my life and around the world and do all that sort of stuff. So it was a brand new beast for me to come in and think about social media. And when I was cowboying and writing, I wanted to die without a Facebook page. Truly, I thought this is my golden life. And then I bring the book out and I think this is a good book. This is well written. It's well edited. I know what I'm doing. I brought it out and to a number of agents and they all said, we love your book. I mean, it probably hit about 25, 30 agents and all of them to a person. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, this is great. Come on, guys. And at one point I thought I had a bidding war between agents, which I thought, oh, this is a great thing to have. And they all kept turning it down. And it was for these funny reasons. And then I said, guys, what's the gig? I said, tell me honestly what it is about the book or myself. And they go, well, you're a nobody. And I said, no, really tell me the truth. No, you don't have a platform. I go, what's a platform? Talk about sounding naive. I mean, as naive as you can. Well, you have to have a following. And I said, I thought as an author, you wrote a good book and that's what you're supposed to do. And that's the hardest thing now when I talk to authors and I have to say, guys, I believe in words and I believe in how difficult it was for you to get this book done. But guess what? This is your first marathon. And I tell them this is much like running a marathon where you get to the end and the guy goes, oh, you thought you were finished? Actually, you have to turn around. And you go do it again. And the guy at the other end says, no, it's actually another marathon. And you go, what the heck? I thought I was supposed to just write a book. No, now you're supposed to market. Now you're supposed to do social media. So what I decided was if I had to dance with the devil, I was going to lead. And I did that with Facebook and Instagram, all of these things. And now I've got something like, I think 20,000 plus followers on all these different social media. My YouTube channel just hit 1 million views,
Nice.
which is pretty exciting. So it's fun, but I don't take as much pleasure as I should because I really believe in the words. I'm still an author.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there one social media platform that you think works best for authors?
Ooh, I get asked that all the time. I think it's whatever plays to your strengths. So for me, coming from a filmmaking background and having worked in Hollywood, I decided to be strategic in that YouTube is really behind Google is the second largest search engine in the world. And I thought, well, what the heck? I like filming. Why don't I create these videos of the things I do? And then I came up with an I Love to Read series and all sorts of things spun off of that. I did a first ever YouTube scavenger hunt where I actually hid books inside the videos I did, and we did a 20 video runoff, and we had it was to support charities, and it was to promote literacy, and it was a blast. It was last summer. That's where I got all those views from.
Uh-huh.
So for me, I realized it was a twofold strategic idea that let me go after the second best search engine at the same time while doing something that plays to my strengths and makes me happy.
Right.
Because I tell you, if you're not, gosh, this social media is a real time sucker.
Yes.
And I tell folks this, I go, look, the returns on it aren't what you think they are. And as you probably well know.
Yes.
And especially for authors, they go, why do I need to do this? Why can't I just put my words out there? I say, well, guess what? It's the cult of personality. You also have to put yourself out there too.
Exactly. And I talk about that too, because people, they just want the words. And
Yeah.
there was a time when an author could do that. However, it was hard for you to get published at the same time. Now
Right.
it's easy for you to get published, but
Yeah, that's the exact reverse, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the exact reverse. So what mistakes do you think authors make when marketing themselves? You'll hear the answer to that question in tomorrow's video. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's excerpt. This is Carma Spence, the Own Your Awesome Mentor. And remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube and comment below with your ideas, thoughts, suggestions, inspirational moments. Just talk to me here. And of course, if you have questions for future videos, Please put them in a comment below. I want the Weekday Wisdom to be something that you value and look forward to watching.